This is what an economy facing default looks like. Some have called what's happening to Greece the death spiral of a welfare state. Too much borrowing for too many social programs for too long, and eventually the bottom falls out. But if you don't think the economic chaos in Greece can come to America, economists say think again. America is on a fiscal course that economists warn is unsustainable, racking up debts we will not be able to repay. This nation, they warn, is already on the path to economic ruin. Federal debt as a percentage of the gross domestic product now stands officially at 60%. But with the course we're on, it will hit 150% in 10 years. And by 2050, 300%. Greece began to melt down when its debt reached 115% of GDP. Ann Vorse of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says it's not clear when America will enter economic crisis.
The problem is you don't know when you reach a tipping point until you reach it, but we're well beyond normal historical peacetime experience already.
What is America's future looking like? Some say Argentina. Before World War II, Argentina was one of the most prosperous nations in the world. With a strong industrial base and thriving middle class, it attracted immigrants from around the world. And within 15 years, Argentina went from one of the richest nations to one of the poorest. President Juan Perón, who some call a fascist, fomented class warfare and bashed business, banks, and the wealthy. He made labor unions his allies and unleashed massive social spending that the nation could not afford. And one of the strongest nations in the world was ruined. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has laid out 6 future scenarios for America, and all of them are bad. The best case is long-term economic stagnation. The worst case is default. Another possible scenario is runaway inflation. What worries the experts is that Washington has heard all the warnings and keeps increasing spending. Brian Williams, legislative director for the National Center for Policy Analysis, says lawmakers would rather give their constituents government-financed goodies than a balanced federal budget.
The American electorate is in a mode of getting free education and free health care and free transportation and everything for free. Somebody pays for it.
Government entitlement spending, that's a fancy name for welfare, continues to grow and could reach 50% of our GDP by 2080. And this didn't start with Barack Obama. George W. Bush added $5 trillion to the national debt. But the Obama administration is running it up at a faster clip. Moody's Investors Service warns that America's credit rating could be downgraded as soon as 2013, when principal and interest on the debt reach 20% of the federal budget. The only way to stave off a downgrade would be a massive tax hike.
There will be tax policy implications for years, for decades to come.
Vorse says California could be a preview of things to come. A government that can't pay for basic services.
Look at education, look at bridges, look at police, public safety workers, things that you count on for government to do, and they won't be able to afford anymore because you're paying debt service.
Economists warn that Greece may be only the first of many welfare states to fail in the coming months and years, as populations age and welfare costs soar. And while you shouldn't necessarily expect riots in American streets, financial experts say if we continue to pile up debt, the economic meltdown that occurred in Greece is coming to America. Dale Hurd, CBN News.